years, Coast City has known peace. But now, that time is over. Whoever controls the Doomsday device controls our fate.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. My name is Optimus Tom, and joining me in the caster booth this week actually, is going to be Elements, and we are here at the E3 Expo. For the next 3 days, we're going to be bringing you guys all the action on Infinite Crisis. It's the new DC MOBA coming out from Turbine.
Yep, we're going to have 7 games, including from games from Curse Academy and CompLexity. We're going to have those coming up just in a moment.
That's very true, guys. We got a lot of action, so why don't we throw the schedule up for you guys so you know exactly where and when you'll want to be here at the booth.
First up, we have CompLexity versus Curse Academy Game 1. Then we're going to have you guys, the fans, come up here and play versus the pros, kind of mixed together for community and pro player matches, as you guys can see. Now again, we have CompLexity versus Curse Academy Game 2. And then once again, we're going to grab you guys, come up on stage, you guys can mingle with us, and that's it.
Yeah, and of course, don't forget, after all the pro player matches, we're going to be doing interviews with the guys too, so you can familiarize yourselves with them, with the game, and the characters they're going to be playing. Potentially give you a couple tips and tricks as you come up here and try the game for yourself. But now that we know what's going to be going on, why don't we take a look at who's going to be playing with some people that Elements you might be very familiar with.
I may. First up, we have Dominate. He's going to be your urban jungler. He's also a shot caller for Curse Academy. He's going to be the one, making these plays, getting these guys going. Now, next up, we have Swain Gretzky. He's going to be more of your, blaster type character. He's going to be bursting people down. Next up, we have Altek. He's going to be the attack damage kind of guy. He's going to be sitting there, kind of behind enemy lines, hitting people over and over again. Atomic. He's going to be your support. He's going to be the one kind of locking people down for everyone else to kind of finish them off. Then we have One Bad Bad, who's going to be your bruiser type character. He's going to be one getting in the mix and kind of, tanking some damage.
Yeah, and Curse Academy, of course, going to have to take a look at their team cohesion, see if they're going to be able to capture those points and control the map for themselves. But they're not the only team we're going to be having play today. We also have CompLexity Gaming, and these are some familiar faces from the MOBA genre you guys might know about. Of course, we have Crowley. He, of course, is going to be playing that blaster type as well. Very powerful, very bursty type of champions. Trooper going to be picking up the carry role again. We saw him just in the practice runs. He was a very kitey kind of guy, so we're going to see if he's able to take that one onto Gotham Heights and transfer that experience. MIA, more the supporty role, but he's also taken on a little bit of the bruiser role. He's going to be locking targets down for the rest of his team to clean up. Speaking of cleanup duty, we got Nick Wu, and he's going to be playing those enforcers, those tanky guys. They're going to absolutely obliterate the competition. Lauda Mortis, he's more the urban jungler style, but we also see him take on a team leader kind of role in Infinite Crisis too, so we're going to see how CompLexity is going to handle all this coming together.
Yep, but next up we're going to talk about the map.
Yeah, guys might not exactly know what the game is, so we're going to show you where it's going to be played. Gotham Heights is the sector we're going to be taking a look at today. It's a capture the point kind of King of the Hill style. There's 5 control points on the map. In addition to that, there's going to be plenty of relics and shrines you're going to want to take a look at. The speed boost, the health relics, and of course, you're going to want to protect those power cores.
Exactly. Just to reiterate that, there's going to be lots of different power-ups. You can see health packs and other different things around the map that are going to help you guys kind of take the lead. And along with the capture point, there's different little objectives on the map that you can kind of, go and clean up.
Yeah, and let's not forget about in the middle of the map, there's going to be a capture point to control that orbital strike cannon, drop some meteors down on the enemy team.
Yep. Now we're going to talk about the different universes. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh yeah, well definitely. Now you see, if you're not familiar with the Infinite Crisis story, a while ago DC condensed all their multiverses into just one prime Earth. With Infinite Crisis, everything got hectic again. There's over 52 universes, and we got a couple of them featured in the game today.
Yep, we're going to have 6 different universes in the game currently. First up we have Arcane, which is going to be your magical, mystical kind of. Next up we have the Mecha, which is going to be, everyone's kind of, mechanical and mixed in, kind of that kind of sense. Next up we have the Atomic, and that's kind of like a post Cold War.
Gone wrong.
Everything kind of went bad, and everything's kind of toxic and nuclear in that kind of way. Next up, we're gonna have Prime, which is just your standard universe. That's your standard Batman, your standard Wonder Woman. Everyone knows those characters. And then finally, or rather next up, we have Nightmare, which is kind of like a demonic kind of possession. You can see, Nightmare Batman, one of my favorite characters. And then finally we have Gaslight, which is sort of a steampunky-ish, everything's kind of powered by steam kind of universe.
Yeah, alternate technologies and plenty of different realms, which is why you're going to see some of your favorite DC characters in a bit of a different light. So why don't we take a spotlight on some of these players and see who those champions are going to be that they're taking into battle. Why don't we first take a look at Prowley here. He's got a big old smile on his face because I know you love this character as well, Elements. He's playing Nightmare Batman.
Yeah, Nightmare Batman's going to be your assassin type character. He's going to, go into stealth, kind of jump on people. He really, excels at 1v1ing people. He's one that gets people alone. So you can see here his Eternal Hunger is going to, add lifesteal. And his Vampire Batarang is going to go out, slow people, kind of do AoE, can hit more than one target. It's really great. And he just, kind of disrupting the whole team fight aspect. Next up is Batswarm. He's going to go invisible, come out, and then you can see those bats kind of swirling around, dealing damage as he stealth. So it's a good combo with the stealth. And then Savagery is going to be, he's going to jump on somebody and just lock them down.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, in addition to having Nightmare Batman, that assassin type, there's also plenty of other character choices in Infinite Crisis. Let's take a look at Complexity's Nick Wu as he's bringing a Blaster Master to the battlefield in the Joker.
And Joker's going to be, your blaster type character as we were talking about. These characters are more, squishy side, but they're going to want to get in. They pack a lot of punch, as you can see.
I see what you did there.
Yes, so he has a status that's going to gain passive power damage and lifesteal effects, double if enemy or ally die near Joker. So in team fights, if stuff's dying around him, he's going to get more powerful. Next up we have Mr.Punchy, which is launching a kind of a rocket glove, kind of disrupts and stuns. Next up we have Surprise. He's going to throw a block so that it explodes, and shooting out these little teeth that chatter around and slow people and deal damage. It's actually really great disruptive ability for team fights. Next up we have Vanish, and he's going to poof out, going to shoot out this little, Joker box, kind of, deceive away from people, and he's going to stealth and be able to gain distance from other people. And finally we have Last Laugh, which is going to be a big AoE, playing a Poison Cloud, and also stunning them. So if you stand in that Poison Cloud and you get stunned, you're going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, so the Joker's an extremely kitey, extremely mobile kind of champion, but you got to be very careful. If you jump on top of him, well, he's going to pretty much evaporate. Now let's take a look at Curse Academy side of things, because of course they have 5 champions of their own. We got Atomic N on screen, and he's going to be taking one of my personal favorites onto the battlefield, and that's going to be Poison Ivy.
Yeah, Poison Ivy is going to be you're more of a support character, as you can see here. It's mostly about disrupting team fights and locking people down or being able to peel for people. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about her?
Well, Healthy Glow, her passive is going to be great because every 5 skills you use, you're going to create an AoE heal for your team to wind up standing on. Root Strike is going to be your primary source of damage, but it's also a disrupt. It's going to knock enemies up, and you can end that channel at any time to dish out the damage and bring the pain upon them. And of course, Blow Kiss is going to be a great disruptive spell. In addition to a slight nuke, it's also going to blind the target. So you're going to get that power damage down, but also that disruption on them. Thorn Shield is absolutely incredible because it absorbs damage, and of course that is going to slow the attacks on them. And then Deadly Flora, absolutely devastating. Poison damage to enemies, a heal for allies. She's going to be absolutely crucial in controlling these capture points.
Exactly. So we're going to join the lobby real quick here.
Oh, we've got one more character.
Oh, we do have one more character.
We got to talk about my boy Green Lantern first. We got Swayne Gretzky going to be bringing the Blaster Master Green Lantern onto Gotham Heights, and this guy, well, he literally can drop a few surprises on top of enemies' heads.
Yeah, he's going to be your blaster type character. He is, as we talked about, kind of like the Joker. He's going to want to be getting in and kind of getting out, dealing these big damages, and really just, kind of throwing stuff around. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
Well, of course, every basic attack, he's increasing power damage with that Indomitable Will. He's going to slam and jam on top of enemy champions as well with his Q ability, just stacking the damage. A small little AoE, it's going to be great. Constrict means that none of those enemies are going to be getting away from him either. He's not going to be able to just kite, but also lock them down for his full spell combo. Missile Barrage is going to be a fan favorite as you get 3 of those Power Ring missiles just to throw at the enemy. And Green Lantern's Light, it drops the plane, baby. Smack down on their heads, stunning them and dealing massive amounts of AoE damage.
Exactly, and then we're going to have our game lobby, and we can talk a little bit about the stolen skills here.
Yeah.
Stolen powers, rather.
Yeah, actually, every single one of these champions is going to be going into the battlefield with 2 stolen powers that they can equip. In doing so, it enhances their own super abilities, and it's going to be able to level the playing field a little bit. So, Elements, why don't you talk a little bit what we got these players using?
So we have super speed, which is going to give you 25% movement speed, kind of throwing you forward. This is going to be great for Nightmare Batman because his job is to assassinate people. He wants to jump on people, wants to get people in the 1v1, or he can run away. And he also has invulnerability, which is going to block 75 damage for 3 seconds. This is a very powerful ability right now because it absorbs a lot of damage. As we saw when we were looking at these games before, I mean, it really makes you quite tanky. We also have Ben's Space-Time. You're able to teleport across the map, kind of get these global objectives, lock stuff down, and get different capture points out.
Yeah, and we do see a lot of these players taking similar kind of things because certain abilities are going to be a bit more powerful than other ones. These stolen powers really add to the different things. As we talked about already, the multiple classes like the blasters and the marksmen, those carries for the games, they're going to want to be able to run away from the opponents, create as much distance as possible to get those abilities off and kill them. However, the enforcers, the bruisers, the assassins, it's their job to jump on top of them and shut them down. That's why you got that invulnerability shield on the majority of these picks.
Exactly, and here we go. We're jumping into the game. Everyone's almost getting ready here. And we're going to see a great match at Gotham Heights.
Well, you see, the best part about this game, too, is not only do you have your favorite DC Universe characters, but you also have multiple costumes that you guys can unlock. Whether you're going to be using the Crisis Coins or the merit that you earn at the end of every single game, you're going to be able to unlock all these different kinds of costumes. We can see Atomic N actually rocking an alternate costume for Poison Ivy right there. So it's going to be some awesome stuff. And then if you just jump into this game, you already see it's very, very visually pleasing.
Yeah, we see everybody kind of, picking up the different, items and stuff like that, and we're getting around here, and each team kind of getting ready, waiting for the countdown. As you can see here, the timer, 30 seconds on the clock before it starts, before these guys start rushing up these capture points. So you can see they're kind of getting ready, might be throwing, a couple top, a couple bottom, because, the best objective here is to take these capture points and really control the map in the best way. So the starting positions, you can see both teams kind of taking a similar approach here.
Yeah,
kind of going back and forth.
The big thing is, of course, as you see 5 control points all over the map. The big one to be contesting in the beginning is, of course, going to be this top point number 1. So that's going to be really the breaking point between the two sides of the teams. Of course, we also have this locked middle platform, that orbital strike cannon to drop meteors on the opponent's team, cut off entire areas of the map so their strategy changes. There's a timer right here underneath Wonder Woman. Once there's a diamond that hits that, this is going to unlock, and it's going to be a massive free-for-all in that mid area.
Yep, and we can see everybody kind of rushing to that top out. We have, 4 members of our team kind of capping on their points, and we have a big 3v3, and we're going to have Doomsday coming in, big damage. I will dominate, kind of pushing them back. And we have Swain Gretzky dropping the anvil down on Ladder Mortis. Ladder Mortis rushing in. He's going to do tons of damage to Swain Gretzky, but he pops the invulnerability, but it doesn't matter. He's still going to go down. Polly coming in with the stealth, picking that up. Poison Ivy trying to knock everybody up, but it was not successful.
Well, that's what happens when you have a lot of superheroes and villains. Invulnerability has a little asterisk afterwards because you won't survive forever. But dominate on Doomsday. I'm going to click on him for a second because this guy, he might be a villain, but oh, does he do so many good things on the Gotham Heights battlefield. He literally charges in there, smashes people around like a rag doll, but unfortunately, the 4v3 numbers advantage for complexity there, just a little bit too strong.
Exactly. You can see the speed boost going out there, and we have Atomic running away as Poison Ivy. Can't really fight Shazam and the Joker there. That's just too much damage they're going to dish out. Poison Ivy's going to run down here and, sit back and wait for her teammates to group up again.
Well, talking about Shazam, we haven't seen all too much of him on any of his player cards, but MIA is going to be picking him up. He's an enforcer. He's a giant tank, but he can dish out some damage as well. He's going to have a toggle ability to regenerate his own energy on those basic attacks, but he's also going to be able to change that to grant himself a shield in case someone like Dominate were to charge in. And you just see how much damage Dominate takes from that.
Oh yeah, Dominate does have the invulnerability on, but as we talked about, that asterisk at the end, he's going to be dropped down. Poison Ivy hitting that speed boost, not sure what they do, kind of kiting each other around, not going to engage though.
Now, let's talk a little bit at Altec coming in from the side, walking through that speed boost. He's playing Cyborg, and this is one of the newer characters to be added into the beta of Infinite Crisis. To be completely honest, I don't know all too much about him, but there's one thing I definitely know. He is a force to be reckoned with. Altec, you see here, just last hitting those drones, making sure he's going to be able to get his own drone score up, get the gold for himself, and as you see on the map, once you kill something, these little symbols drop. Those are credits that you can pick up after each drone kill. You can spend those as the Artifact Foundry. buy artifacts to power up your own character, and buy the items you're going to need to progress throughout this game. And just look at Altec. Even though Lauda Mortis is on Wonder Woman, a powerful enforcer, well, if he hits his abilities, he's going to knock him down. But that time, Niku comes in from the side, and no more Altec.
Yeah, he got dropped down pretty quickly there. As we can see in the bottom left-hand corner here, there is a fight going out here. Probably just surviving, gonna stealth out, but it doesn't matter. He's actually gonna pop the invulnerability, and Dominate will go down.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dominate might be Doomsday, but I don't think he can take on a 1v3 in that situation. Doomsday, he's a giant bruiser. He can absorb a lot of damage, but he needs someone in the back lines to really just back him up. Of course, superheroes and supervillains are used to working alone, but on the battlefield of Infinite Crisis, it's a team game, and you need every single ally you can get.
Yeah, and we have the support chant for Shazam here. Kind of just throwing around. Atomic just kind of holding the base, waiting for Altec to come around, and this is going to be a good combo. I mean, the damage is going to come out from Cyborg, and the CC that's going to come out from, Atomic here is just going to really be able to lock people down. But we do have a fight going out here top. One Bad Brad in hot pursuit of Nick Wu the Joker. Vulnerability going out again, throwing down that Happy Face box. Oh, and the damage going out. Swing Gretzky didn't drop the anvil and shoot out his missile barrage, but that's not going to be enough, and he is going to go down.
Yeah, so we see Niku right there picking up a very nice kill. When he was kiting and running away from them, we saw him utilize the stealth field very effectively. These are going to be areas where you go absolutely invisible, so you're going to just duck out of sight of not only the drones, but also the enemy champions. So you have to be very, very careful. If you're chasing someone, you drop line of sight in there, they can turn that around on you just like Niku did.
Yeah, and we can see Probably here just killing those drones, kind of going into the invisibility field maybe. Never mind, he's backing out. So these guys are going to push back in and Dominate. And Swing Gretzky are going to have to defend all these drones because they've built up a little bit of a wave and they're pushing towards their capture point. But then we go, Dominate's going to go in, he's doing lots of damage, but it's not going to go enough. He's going to get dropped down. One Bad Brad locking him down. You can see that. Instantly killing him. That's the assassination stuff we were talking about. And Curse Academy is chasing down MIA. He's not going to might be able to get away. The Batarang is going to slow him, but that might not be enough to shut him down.
MIA is going to get out of there, of course, utilizing that shield that Shazam gets when he toggles his second ability. Very, very nice, but Curse Academy has chased Complexity away. Of course, the kills are very exciting in this game, but it's really about those control points. The more you capture, the more power you're going to drain from your enemy's power core, and if it's lights out for the power core, it's lights out for the enemy team as well.
Exactly. We have Lauda Mortis on Wonder Woman taking a lot of damage, but she's actually quite a tanky woman, hence the name Wonder Woman, I suppose. And you can see her just kind of going in there disrupting stuff, but it doesn't matter. And she's actually going to use that teleport ability and get her around the map.
Speaking of teleporting abilities, you see Niku using the Joker's Vanish, a little Joker shuffle to get himself out of some trouble, dodging all those skill shots coming out from the powerful blaster of Swing Gretzky, and it buys enough time for the rest of his team to swing around and pick up a kill. And, well, they're just absolutely annihilating Poor Atom again. He doesn't have anybody to support right here. He shields himself with that ability coming out from Poison Ivy, barely able to escape from that one.
Looks like Complexity had the odds there, and they were able to take down Curse Academy's Direwolf Dominate. And they're going to try to hit this capture point to get even more advantage on this map.
MIA actually just going in and just enforcing like his class is supposed to do. They're just absolutely bodying Curse Academy right now, just forcing them off of that last capture point they have. Niku in the top, meantime, is capturing point number 1. Complexity trying to go for the 5 cap, which is going to sap the power out of that power core insanely quick. Curse Academy, you can see them losing about 5 to 4 power every single second. That's not going to be a position they want to be in for very long.
No, and as you can see here, bot lane, this is the Lauda Mortis for Swing Gretzky. Who will take the cake here? Vulnerability going out once again, but Missile Barrage and got his own invulnerability, and he's going to drop the anvil right on his face. Swing Gretzky coming out ahead on that one.
Yeah, even though Wonder Woman can take a lot of damage, those blaster classes are going to have the power damage. They have the will to manage that. And of course, even if you're an Enforcer, you're a big, beefy bruiser, Wonder Woman, she still can't take too many anvils to the head, Element.
No. Despite being a superhero, she cannot. But we do have Atomic on Poison Ivy here, dishing out his CC. Swing Gretzky coming in, Missile Barrage. We're going to see the anvil drop. There it is. MIA taking lots of damage, and he's just not going to go down. Vulnerability saving him once again. We have Probably 2v1ing here. He might be able to take these guys down, but you got to remember, the Nightmare Batman is only really that strong in the 1v1, but he does not matter. He was able to take down Poison Ivy regardless.
Yeah, and I want to point out very quickly, while those anvils are dropping, these cars, these light posts, see the fire hydrant, everything taking damage. If you have a stolen power called Super Strength, you can interact with that. If you have Detonate, you can blow those things up. Everything on the map is going to be destructible, so you can utilize that very effectively.
Yeah, and Ladder Morris coming in on that tanky Wonder Woman once again, trying to mess up stuff up, but we can't really see it. But we do have Cyborg Trooper coming in from the side, dealing lots of damage, and Swain Gretzky is in a lot of trouble right here. Wonder Woman and Trooper doing lots of damage to him, but he's actually going to be able to kite it out, I think. Never mind, he's going to get dropped down. Alltech on the Cyborg, doing lots of damage. This is a 2v2 on the tower point. Does not matter. Looks like Complexity is going to come out ahead on that one.
That's just what happens when you have Enforcer and Marksman against Support and Marksman, but one bad Brad coming in, gets the Feral Embrace down onto Cyborg. Trooper trying to live. There's a good stun coming out from Lana Mortis, but Trooper barely going to kite that one out. That's power in numbers.
Exactly, and we do have a little bit going up here top. I will dominate initiating onto MIA, but this is again a 2v1. The odds for dominate this game is just not looking that great.
No, it's unfortunately he's not dominating this game whatsoever, Elements. Curse Academy with only 2 capture points available, but Complexity is still highly contesting that bottom one. They actually capture it for themselves, so now it's currently a 3 versus 1 cap. Altec, oh, the plane gets dropped on Lana Mortis, but doesn't save his teammate in Altec. Swain Gretzky's going to get a retribution kill from that one. Dominate comes in from the side, but I just don't know. Curse Academy, they are going to wind up forcing back Complexity for the time being, but how long will that last?
Well, we do have Dominate coming from the back. He just finished off someone on the left-hand side there, and Nick Wu is going to have to try his best to take this point. But I mean, it's a 3 for 2, so this is going to have to look very good for them.
Well, Nick Wu is going to use that Vanish effectively. Of course, that punching bag does explode and deal AoE damage. They do want to take down Dominate, kiting him out. Now MIA coming in from the side, absolutely enforcing his will down upon Atomic End. But there goes that Deadly Flora coming out. That's poison damage to MIA and a heal for all the members of Curse Academy inside. So even though Curse Academy, they're defending, it's not their point. That turret is still dealing damage the more they stand near it.
Yeah, you guys have to remember that this game is about capture points. It's not just about team fighting. You know, that's only so much of the game. I mean, the respawn timers are pretty quick. You got to get back and capture the points if you want to win.
Oh man, MIA is going to get absolutely devastated by Dominate right there. A couple ambulls coming in from Swain Gretzky as well. The remaining members of Complexity, all they have to do is stall for time. The power core from the side of Curse Academy is so low that even if they win this fight, I don't think they're going to have the time left to try to take this control point back from Complexity.
No, it doesn't look like that. And you can see that Complexity's turret has just been, teeing off on Curse Academy this whole team fight. That's making them able to, withstand and hold the tower long enough. But unfortunately, Curse Academy is going to go down. Game 1 going to Complexity.
And that's just the power of teamwork in this map. Even though you need to, of course, get kills for your team, you also, of course, need to control those, well, the control points. That's what they're called. They're control points. So if you're able to capture those effectively, it doesn't matter how many kills you're going to get, even though Complexity, just take a look at the kills that Trooper had there. He was 11, 2, and 6 on Cyborg. We saw him kiting effectively. We saw him just absolutely holding points by himself. Once Lana Mortis came into the picture, too, there was no way the enemy team was able to keep up.
Yeah, they're really staying true to the roles they like to play. Ladder Morris getting in there, just tanking tons of damage. Trooper, big carry right here. Same with Prawley, getting in there, assassinating people with a score of 9, 3, and 7. Just great score. Unfortunately, Curse Academy didn't have, I guess, what it took this game.
No, unfortunately, the team cohesion just wasn't there for them, but Complexity taking game number 1. Of course, we're going to have 7 games between these two teams in the show matches. They're going to be spaced out throughout the 3 days we're going to be here. And of course, like I said, we're going to have interviews for each of these players to get their thoughts on their characters as well as, well, what they think about the game entirely. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick little break to take a look at Cyborg, show you a little character spotlight on him, because we're going to be talking about actually, we're going to be taking a look at Nightmare Batman. I'm sorry, not Cyborg. But when we come back, we're going to get Trooper's thoughts on this game, as he was really the driving force behind Complexity's win.